In this session, we'll be discussing about the base features scenario, and here we'll be explaining extruding. So in case of extrude, what exactly you have to do and the governing principles and conditions you have to keep in mind. So if you see the extrude, this is basically the adding material in the normal direction, or you can specify a particular direction in which you can add the material, or you can remove the material. Even extrude can be a negative scenario where you remove the material also. So in case of extrude, the basic parameters which you have is the from plane, from where you need to start adding material, and the directions in which you are adding the material. You can have the direction in other direction also. This is the direction 1, and backside you can also add material. You can have the draft angle, and you can have other options like thin features also, which I will show you. And when you specify the direction 1, in that particular direction the object will be extruded, and in that particular direction material will be added. And here you can see the draft scenario. You can have the outward draft or inward draft, where you can have the taper angle which you can attach to your object. And if you have two directions, you can see this is the direction 1 and backside direction 2. You can control in one direction you have draft, whereas in other direction you don't have draft. So that also can be controlled. And also you can have the thin extrusion, where you have a profile where around the boundary you would like to add the thickness, and that can be done. And this can be also controlled in different directions, which I will show you. And in case of an open profile, you can apply the resulting features by converting this into a thin feature, and you can get the output like this. And also you can apply auto fillet corners, where this will be automatically converted to the fillet, and you can apply this particular option to your features. And when you create the extrude feature, you have a couple of other parameters which you need to understand, because whenever you create a sketch, it has to be fully constant, and that is the fundamental basic requirement which you need to understand. I will show you this directly. So for understanding this basic information from our exercise folder of chapter 5, you can open this particular model to understand this scenario. And here you can see you have the sketch, which is the base sketch, and when you add thickness to this base sketch, your model will be ready like this. So I'll right click and I will show you what exactly is the direction here. This is the direction. Let us say I'll give 50. So this is the direction in which you have added the material. So let us start this from scratch and understand this. So when you want to attach from the feature the extrude base feature, you need to define your sketch first. So for defining sketch, I will go to the sketch and I will select my plane as this, the front plane. So once you select the front plane, you can define your sketch here. The first sketch, I will dimension it and make it as per my requirement. I will make it 100. So this will be my first sketch, which I will be referring with respect to this, and then I will keep on adding other sides. I will go for escape. I will go to the 3-point arc. This is the starting point, and here I can have the tangency control. So I will select this control, this, and here I can make it tangent, and you can add a circle here, and you can define all the dimensions as per requirement. So you have to make it fully constant, because this is the primary task which you need to have. You can see this is underdefined. So I need to make it fully constant so that you can start extruding this. So this center from here, I will assign the dimension. This center from here, this already we have. So now we need to have a vertical dimension from here to here, right? And this dimension already we have, so here I will define the dimension. Now you can see it is fully defined, and you can finalize all the rest of the dimensions. This is 75, this I need to make it 15, this is 30, this I need to make it 25, so 25 is swing conflict, so I'll make it 35. So here we have maintained the tangency, you can make it 45, and what about other dimensions, that also you can control. I want to make it 25, this is 15, so all the corresponding dimensions you need to keep it as per requirement. You can make it 30, and these are the corresponding dimensions which I need to finalize. So after creating all this, I can directly see here the sketch is fully constant, and here also you can see fully defined. I'll just exit it. Once you are done, you can directly go to your view orientation and make it a 3D view which you can use it. Now I'll go to the feature and go to extrude, and here you can see select a plane on which to sketch the feature. Already I am having sketch, or an existing sketch to use for the feature. Existing sketch I am selecting, and now you can see here the direction 1 is blind, that is just following this direction. You can just drag this and you can define this as 25, which is the direction 1. And if you go for the direction 2, here you can also specify the direction 2. This is direction 2. So in this direction, how much you need? I need to have 15. So direction 1 and direction 2, in the both you can have your control. So let us say I want to add in the direction 1 one draft, and this is 10 degrees. That will be attached only to the direction 1, and whatever the direction 2, I have not clicked it. If you click it and I need to have a 5 degree, there also you can have a 5 degree draft, and I can go for OK. So this you can see the direction 1 and the direction 2. So direction 2 I am having 5 degree, whereas this is 10 degrees. So you can select the base feature, right click, and you can go to edit feature. And let us say here instead of 10 I need to have 15, and draft outward you can change the directions. You can see inward or outward, just like that. For that direction also you can have, or you can switch off so that the draft is not present in this particular feature, and you can control the direction also. What about the depth? And here let us say 10, and I can go for the preview. This is the preview. I'll go for OK. So this is the basic step which you need to do while using your extruded boss or the base feature. The other controls you can see by going to right click edit. Here you can see the thin directions which you can find after creating this. So I'll just control this by going to edit sketch. Here you can edit whatever the dimensions you would like to control, maybe 40, that will be updated here. So whatever the changes you need to do. So this is completing here. So what I have to do is I have to position this properly so that these dimensions will be maintained. So this I'll change to 15. So this will be OK now, and I can exit it, and you can go for OK here. Now here you can see when you go for the extrude, if you select this particular sketch along with this, because I have only included this particular sketch, and if you select this particular sketch along with that, then how to include that particular sketch within your extrude, that is the important point. Next, when you go to extrude, you can see that particular sketch is not available. So how to make it available? So if you go to edit, and you can go to a particular view, this front view. So this is the sketch which I have, and this particular sketch you can see is fully constant along with your primary sketch. So when you select the extrude, along with this I need to extrude this also. So how to include that? That is one of the challenge. So I will show you how to fix it. It's very simple. Just you go to right click by selecting your feature and go to edit feature, and here you can see the selected contours. So when you select the contour and you add this, automatically you can see this feature also is embedded, and you can directly see this. And now if you go to this particular feature, you can find this. I'll just go to OK. Now you can see this is added as a part of this. So anytime you can add or remove. Let us say I'll go to the sketch and I'll go to edit, and here I need to add couple of more information, so that can also be included or excluded. So let us say I need to add another hole here, and I'll go for the dimension here, maybe 12, and I'll go to the smart dimension, and here I'll be specifying those dimensions 15, and from here this is 15 again, and now you can see this is fully defined, so I don't have any conflict. So just like that, when you go to right click edit, and here when you select it and include this particular sketch, this part also will be updated instantly. So in this way you can edit and control the required new sketch, or whatever the definition, I can switch off it so that you can clearly see this. So this is very fundamental and important when you talk about this, the draft and the directions, and both the directions how to control. Next we will see how to use a thin extruded features. After selecting the sketch, how to control this, and different direction control also you can have here. So for understanding this particular concept, from your exercise folder you can open this particular model. That means when you go to edit and you have the sketch, and when you select the sketch outline, here you can see the thin feature which just you have to select, and here you can control the direction. From the mid plane you can have the control, or two directions you can have control, and whatever the direction 1 and direction 2, and you can see capped end also you can apply here. This will be the capped end. So what about the capped end scenario? If you go to the section plane, here you can see this. This is capped. So inside you have the cavity. So just it will cap the back and front, but inside you have still the thin protrusion. So you can directly see this. So let us understand and create this from scratch. So this is the sketch which you have, and when you go to the extrude and you select your sketch, when you select your sketch, here you have one option known as thin feature. When you tick this, automatically this will be thinned, and I'll just align this here so that you can see different control. This is my sketch, and when you go for mid plane, from the sketch mid, both the direction, the distance assigned will be mapped, and if you go to the two direction, this direction you can have specific values, and this direction you have specific values. Let us say direction 1 is 2 and direction 2 is 3. That can be done. This is 3, this is 2. So in this way you can apply the thin protrusion or thin features to your sketch. And you can have a open profile as well. Let us say I'll double click this and this part is not available. I'll just exit it. And when you go to extrude features and select this particular feature, here you can see by default the thin feature is selected. You no need to select or choose, and you can go for auto fillet corners, and whatever the corner values you need to specify, automatically it will fillet the corners with auto fillet options. So here you can see auto fillet corners option, which I have shown you. In this particular case, automatically it fillets the corner and it applies. So in this way you can control for your extrude the auto fillet options and automatic thin feature selection in case of a open profile, and you can control both the direction 1 and 2 here also if you need, and whatever the value specified, and even the draft also independently you can control in both the direction. Whatever the draft you have, that you can control in both the direction. Maybe 5, and whatever the thin protrusions distance 5, that will be updated, and go for OK. And here you have couple of other controls which you need to understand very clearly. So when by default you see the direction 1, here you have blind, you have up to the vertex. Up to the vertex also you have, that means you have to select a particular vertex with respect to which you need to extrude this. So you need to have couple of reference for using this option. Here you can see the which vertex you are selecting and which direction you are selecting. That vertex you have to specify. So how to specify that vertex, that I will give you a small example. So let us say this is the case, and how to create a vertex, that you know already. So you can have a point, this particular point you can create in a particular direction. So you need to create your particular position of that plane. So how to position that I will show you. Now I will discuss other options which you can also use in extrude, that I will discuss. So I'll take a part file from scratch and I'll create a particular reference plane here by referring front at a distance of maybe 50. So I'll just fit it, zoom to fit, so all will be fitted. So here you can see the front plane, right click, and you can go for hide or show. So you can control independent display of features. Here also you can see the show. So here you have the plane number 1, and here you have the plane number 2 at a distance of 50. So let us start building our first sketch here with respect to the front plane. This is the sketch where I'll give the dimension this as 100 and also this as 100. So this will be my sketch. I'll go to the 3D view orientation. There is the 3D view. So this is my sketch number 1, and this is the plane 2 where I'll define another sketch. and I will go to the feature and I will extrude this in this direction. Now we will be understanding different sketcher control which you can apply. So when you go to the extrude and select a sketch, here you have couple of controls in direction. So through all the object, whatever you have, that will be selected, and here you can also go for merge result or without merge. If you don't merge it, both the object will be present here, and right click edit. If you go to merge, both the object will be merged simultaneously. If you have couple of more object here, just I will delete this. Only I have my sketch. This is the object number 1. I will go to the plane with respect to this plane, maybe at another 100, and here I will select the extrude and I will define the planes. Okay. You define the directions. So through all you can better understand. If I will take this example, if I will select this sketch and I will go to through all the object, whatever present in front of that feature will be selected, and if you go to merge, that all will be merged as a single solid. Just like that, if you see up to the next object boundary, this will be extruded, and you can even merge also. This directly reads the next boundary location. Just like that, if you go to up to the vertex, the selected vertex, that automatically it takes. I'll just switch off the merge, and up to the selected vertex here you can see, and this is the direction, and up to the selected vertex you can choose and you can extrude directly. So how to select the up to next vertex here, this is very important. So if you select the sketcher, and after that you have to specify the required vertex which you need to filter. So what you have to do is you have to just go to up to vertex, and here you can select the corresponding vertex with respect to which you can directly extrude, or maybe this vertex it will read that, or maybe this vertex it will directly go, and you can merge it also as a whole. Right click, I'll just delete this, and this is the sketch available with me. So when you select the sketch and directly you go to up to surface, you can select a particular surface, and this surface can also be in the contour form. So that contour surface will be captured. For example, I have not discussed the extruded cut, but here I will just introduce so that I can cut some material here, and so that I can explain you in a better way. Maybe 3 point. I'll just align this with respect to this side so that clearly I can this is the curvature which I was positioning here, and you can select both the directions for cutting this till what depth through all directions, one and all. So this is the cut plane which you can take here. So I'll go to extrude and I will select this particular sketch, and when you go for up to the surface and I will select this curved surface, it captures this surface definition, and that will be till that surface. So you can use this particular option for controlling this kind of surface if you want to capture. So offset from surface, even you can offset from the selected surface, and you can give the direction. You can reverse offset, translate the surface, and from a particular selected surface I need to translate 55 or maybe 65, that will be monitored and that automatically will be converted. From with respect to that surface, you can see this is translated in this particular direction. And here if you go for translate surface switch off, you can see the end face cannot terminate the extruded feature. So that error you will get. So this you have to select. You can reverse the offset direction also. You can merge the result also. So these all options you can directly control. And next, up to the body, up to the selected body, you can directly do. And mid plane. In case of mid plane, whatever the sketcher you have selected, from that selected plane, both the direction of the specified value, maybe 60, 30 this side and 30 that side, will be positioned from that symmetric plane. And another one is direction here, which you can use all the time. So for explaining this, I'll select you and I will show you the process for controlling this. So I'll just delete this. So let us create a particular direction for understanding this. So I'll start a file from scratch and I'll go for a sketch and I'll select this top plane and I will define my sketch. I'll just go to exit. I'll go to sketch again and I'll go to the front plane. And I will define a particular direction from this. This is the case, let us say. So maybe I have to define this in some other direction. This I'll delete it. I'll take the 3D view. I'll go to sketch and I have to select the front here and I will align this with respect to this front, and maybe this is by direction which I want to define. So I need to extrude along this direction. So how to do it? So that I will show you. So when you go to feature, extrude, and you select your feature, and then in this particular blind direction you can select your direction so that this will be guided through this particular direction. So this you can use to control the direction in this. So this is a special case which you can use to control the direction in a particular vector or direction. So in our coming session, I will be discussing about how to create the revolved sketch and create the best feature by using the sketch. That will be discussed. Thank you.